Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is March the 1st of 2020. It is March, which means that any date that has a 3 involved in it is going to be flipping around a corner. Um, 311 is coming up. You got a 322. Even 313 I have seen a couple times before. March the 3rd, which is 2 days away. Be careful with that. Um, and some people may not believe it's anything, and that's fine. If you don't believe that the numbers mean anything at all, then, you know, that's entirely up to you. They mean nothing to you, but that does not mean that they don't mean anything to other people. And because they believe that these numbers mean something, that they might do stuff upon these dates. I was actually just sitting down. When I was sitting down, hold on. When I was sitting down, I was just thinking about um, the IXXI, which, for those that don't know, the IX is the Roman numeral for 9, and the XI is the Roman numeral for 11, which there's several other different symbolism going on between the IXXI. Um, but that actually is a very old number. I I know I've seen it, and I've said this before. I've seen that inscribed upon ancient buildings before. Uh, Two, if not three, pictures that I have seen that people have taken pictures of it. One of them was on a statue, if I remember correctly, and another one was on the front of a building above the door. And it's not something that you readily see everywhere, but it is something that's out there. It's something that does exist, and you know, the normies would see that, and they wouldn't register. They would just think, oh, that just, you know, it's just one of those numbers that maybe it's a building marker or something. But when you open it up and really look at it, that's a 9 and an 11. And we all know what that is. So this ancient culture, whichever it was, wherever I saw that picture, they wrote a number on the top of a door and on the base of a statue in Roman numerals. Rome, the country that was supposed to have been, or not the country, the empire. There you go. The empire that was supposed to have been completely obliterated, which sat in, what is it, Seven Hills? Is that the term from Revelation? That sat on Seven Hills that, you know, stole every bit of culture that they ever had from every other empire that came before them, including, you know, gods and um, politics and, you know, spelling, writing, all this other kind of stuff, who stole everything from everybody else, and who was one of the most evil empires in the world. They happened to know that this number existed, and then, I don't know what, 1,000, 2,000, however many thousands of years, at least hundreds of years. Again, the timeline is screwy. But however many hundreds of years later, um, there happens to be something that happens on the day that is inscribed on a building that is X amount of 100 years old. It's like they just happen to know that, you know, this is that. Did did the according to the narrative, did the people that were flying those planes, did they do it because of that date that was inscribed? I don't know. I don't know, but these numbers mean something to people. They do, and you see these numbers all the time. I've talked about television shows. When you look in the background, all you have to do is look at the background. People don't seem to understand that concept. Whenever I say look, just look at the movies and the television shows. When you're watching a show, when you're watching a movie, if you can rip your eyes off of your phone for 5 seconds to watch a show, to watch a movie, and look in the background and look at a clock, just tell me what time it is. More than likely, that clock, if it's pre year 2000, actually, if it's pre year 2001, because there was a lot of them in the year 2000. But if it's pre 2001, you're going to wind up seeing a 9 and 11 more than you want. Now that's not going to be the time. It's not like, there's going to be a big hand on the 9 and the little hand on the 9, the big hand's going to be, just after 2. But that's possible. But no, you'll see a hand on a 9 and you'll see the hand on the 11 in some way, shape, or form. It happens that way. If you don't see that, you're going to see a hand. You're going to see the other one I see is the big hand on the 12 and the little hand on the 3. What does that mean? 1, 2, 3? No, that's a 33. That's 2 plus 1 is 3, plus the other 3, it's a 33. If you're not seeing that, then you are seeing a 3 and a 6. What's a 3 and a 6? It's 3 sixes. If you're not seeing that, you're seeing it on the minute hands. And sometimes you might see, I know I've seen 11 whenever they've been on 11, and then when they've been on a 3, that's a 11-3, that's a 3-11. It goes both ways. These things exist. 420. 420 is another one. I know everybody, 420, hell yeah. But no, seriously, man. Just because these numbers mean nothing to you does not mean that they don't mean something to somebody else. And it's how they talk to each other. And I have said this before, that we are only scratching the surface on how they talk to each other. I said in a previous video just recently that they are taught different than you are. First of all, they're taught to be better than you are. They're taught that you are scum. You're the lowest form of life on the earth. And that they don't need you because they are better than you. Because it is all about their families. And they should not have empathy for you. You are their slaves. They are your rulers. That's how they're taught to live. That's why these people have no empathy. That's why whenever they hear or whenever you see them talking about people dying or talking about people getting hurt, things like that, you see them laughing. Because they have no empathy, because they're taught not to have empathy for you. And yes, I do realize that we are going to do a psalm. We'll get to that. It's an extremely short psalm, and I'll get to it here in a little bit. I know that I usually do them at the beginning, but I'm talking. I got on a rant. Let me get onto it. But these people they're not taught differently, and not only that, but they go to different schools than you do. They go to different schools than you do. They go to different colleges than you do. They get the training that you never will. They know the truth that you never will. They have taken what the truth is in this world for themselves, and they keep it to themselves. The more they keep you out of reality, the more that they can control you. So they have the understanding and the learning of mathematics and numerology than we ever will. And that's what they do. That's why these numbers mean something to them. That's why whenever somebody says, it's just a number, man. Deal with numbers all the time. It doesn't mean anything to me. It may not mean anything to you, but it means something to them. And they follow along with it. They absolutely follow along with it. Whenever somebody out in the truth community says that an 11-3 or a 3-11, actually, no. Let me do it right. Let me give you the exact story. When somebody in the truth community says that he thinks that something is going to happen on November the 3rd, because he is constantly seeing 11-3 everywhere, and he is thinking that something is going to happen. And then you turn around and something happens on March the 11th where a president of a country, or no, it wasn't really the president of a country, I think it was like the CDC, I don't remember, when somebody announces on a 3/11 on March 11th that there is a worldwide pandemic that shuts down the world, that's something to stop and think about. When you see a building that is that they say is at least 3,000-4,000 years old, that has an IXXI written over the top of the door, and then you turn around and something happens on September the 11th, a couple thousand years later, that's a thing. I don't know how else to say this. I don't know how else to point this stuff out. At this point, if you know, you know. If you don't, then you're still, blinded to the realities of this world, and you're just going to live that way. I can't help everybody. But at this point, if you know, you know. If you can see it, you can see it. If you know what a 322 is, you know what a 322 is. If you understand what a 501 is, what that date means, what May the 1st is, you understand what it means, then you're already halfway there. If you understand what 329, which I still have not found exactly what that is yet, but those numbers keep popping up. 329, 923, 932, 239, any combination of those numbers I keep seeing. I have seen them so much in my life that those numbers have become attached to me somehow. I don't know why, but they're there constantly, especially in movies and TV shows. 329, 923. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means yet, but we are in the month of March, which in their numerology, in their calendar, it is the third month. We are on their schedule. So they are controlling this narrative right now. So you are in the third month of their calendar, and you have at least 4 different dates that you have to worry about that are coming up. So just be wary. That's all I can say is be wary. I know I've done it before a couple different times, and even though nothing happens, and somebody could very easily say, "Oh, you said something might happen on this date, but it didn't happen. You're a false prophet." I'm not saying anything's going to happen on a certain date. I'm saying that the people that are in charge of ruling over your life follow these numbers. And when these numbers start coming up, when these dates start coming up, just start being wary. Because more often than not, there are people out there that are predicting when things happen on certain dates. There are guys out there that are predicting sports scores. They are, just based upon the people that are playing in the game and their birthdays. I talked about this before. There was somebody that said that just because somebody was turning 51 or something like that, and that his birth date was on a certain day, and because they were in a certain town, that the certain basketball team would win by 51 points. And sure enough, it happened. And it was the craziest thing in the world. And the guy actually put money down on it. He won. That's how this gets. That's how this numerology happens. Oh, but not everything can be rigged. Everything can be absolutely rigged. It doesn't take much for somebody to tell a referee in any sport to just let this happen, to just let this slide, to let a certain foul keep a team from getting a goal or getting a score. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't. You can manipulate everything, and I just don't understand. I don't understand how people can't see it. I mean, I get it. If I was an outsider and I was looking at it, I would think I was crazy too. I could absolutely understand that, but I mean, really, it just I don't know. Well, before we get into this psalm, this is Psalm 117. I'm going to take 5 seconds here because once I start talking, you know how my nose starts running. But I will be right back. So, anyways, um, today we're going to do Psalm 17. The only reason that I am keeping it a little bit later in the video is because this is all of 2 verses. This really makes you wonder if there was more to this psalm that got cut out somehow. There are, I definitely think that there are a lot of books that we have yet to find that I am sure that those people that rule this world probably have found. They're just keeping them from us because they probably give us a lot more information about what's going on than we think. But when you see a 2 verse psalm in the Bible, you have to wonder if there's anything outside of that or if that's just exactly what God wanted us to know. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and read it, and I don't think I have to go over it a second time. If I do, then maybe I do. But this is Psalm 117. Oh, praise the Lord, all ye nations. Praise him, all ye people. For his merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. Praise ye the Lord. Amen. That's it. 2 verses. I said this was coming up, that we had right before we get to Psalm 119, which is really big, which I'm going to be separating by letter. That we have this really small one that's only like 2 verses. But that's it. Oh, praise the Lord, all ye nations. Praise him, all ye people. For his merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. Praise ye the Lord. That's all you have to say. That's really all you have to say. I don't even if there is anything even if there is anything more than that, then that's all you really have to say. Now, could I go ahead and do 118? Sure, but I'm not going to, because we are doing 1 verse per video, like I said I was. Okay. So, I don't need to talk about the numerology stuff anymore. I mean, I can go on and on about it. I really could. And there is there's a lot of it that I don't understand. I am not perfect whenever it comes to understanding how it works or what exactly the numbers mean or how to even use the simple and complex gematria to be able to tear apart names and words. Some people will do that and they will find that names carry a numerical value or that words carry a numerical value, especially names of certain people, especially those that are involved in things that happen. Birth dates are the craziest things. But there are people out there that can do that. There are gematria calculators out there that can rip these things apart and put them back together and just it gets mind-boggling sometimes to be able to go into it, to really slip down into it. Um, and I try not to slip down into it so much that I get lost. But right on the surface, you see it. And when you actually look for the numbers, you will see them. And it's not like, it's not like the double slit experiment where you're gonna see what you're looking for. It's not like this whole intentions thing that everybody, if you're looking for, if your intention is to find, numbers everywhere, you're going to find numbers everywhere. No, um, if my intentions were to find repeating numbers everywhere in the world, why in the world do I keep finding them? Why do I keep finding them? Why is my wife officially finding them? She's able to point them out to me now when they happen, when they occur. Why is it that she can see them now? Why is it that other people can see them? I'm not the only person that can do this. I'm one of I'm one of many people that I've seen that are able to see the numbers and to know that, to maybe not know what they mean so much, but to know that they're there, that they exist, that they happen, they repeat over and over again. Why is it that we can do this? Why is it that, you know it's not just one person, it's not just one crazy conspiracy nut job that's sitting in his sitting in his basement. Yes, I am sitting in my basement. Thank you very much. I have a finished basement where I keep my workspace and I talk to you from. So yes, I am a basement dweller. But it's not some crazy nut job that's sitting in his basement talking on a laptop. It's not just me, it's other people too. It's got to mean something. Something's going on there. It's got to there's got to be more to it. And all I am saying is, when these numbers pop up, we should at least be wary. We should at least understand that we can see them, but other people can see them as well, and other people know what they mean more than we can, more than we ever will. So that's all I say is just be wary. It's March, and it's March from here until to, from here until July. You have to watch out. It's a it is a season of pagans. It's it's a season of evil. Season of evil. Um, I wasn't really expecting to get on that kind of a turn. I'll tell you the truth, I really wasn't. Uh, More than anything, I just, I was just wanting to say it's March. I mean, even my birthday. How crazy is it? Does that mean that I am cursed by the numbers somehow? I don't know if I'm cursed by the numbers, but I'm numerologically speaking. Jeez, blah, blah, numerologic. Blah. I see. I did it again. Numerologically speaking, I could have something happen to me, or I could do something because my birthday fits. My birthday is March 12th. That within itself is a 33. I never would have known that until, I was woke up. I knew that whenever I was a kid, that you could add the numbers up and they like divide down to a three, but I didn't I didn't know that it was a 30th three until recently. I can tell everyone right now that if you happen to hear anything about me, or if I happen to disappear, then it's definitely not my fault. Somebody did something to me, and the things that I talk about and the things that I say more than likely could get me into trouble. Is it trouble enough that they might send somebody to, make me hurt myself or make me hurt somebody else? Or hurt me or hurt somebody else and make it look like something? Yes, absolutely. It's what they've been doing for years. This is what these people do, is they hide their evil in every way, shape, or form. They hide their evil. It's because they're evil people. The more I keep calling it out, the more I'm going to find that one thing that makes them have to stop and say, okay, this guy can't live anymore. And that's when they send somebody to the house. Am I saying that's going to happen? No. No. Am I saying I'm going to go crazy and, you know, kill a bunch of people? No, I'm not saying that at all. Is it possible? I pray to God. I pray to the Father that He gives me the full armor, that I am able to resist any weapon formed against me in any way, including mind control. And that gets into some deep, dark stuff, man. You start getting into that kind of mentality where, somebody could bust down the door and start hurting you. Or that somebody could manipulate you to the point that you would do something. What was I hearing the other day? They were TruthStream put out another video. They do so much good stuff. I'm telling you guys, TruthStream Media, man. They do some really great stuff, and they lay it out in a way that you can understand it. But they were talking about how where we are in reality right now is that we have the ability as people, the world has the ability to fake everything because you don't know what's real anymore or not. You have the ability to be able to create computers. Computer AI has the ability now to be able to create fake people out of thin air. And I'm not just talking about, some create a character on a video game and you hit random, and no, they're taking pictures of people and making composites of them and creating people, and real people in the world, if there are real people in the world, are looking at these and they are trusting. They were saying that they are trusting the faces that the AI created more than they trust real human beings. That we can make people out of thin air, that deep fakes have gotten so good to the point you don't know what is and isn't real. We now have deep fake voices, that it doesn't take much at all, that there are actually programs out on the internet right now where you can go out yourself, record a couple lines of dialogue, and the AI could match your voice. And they said the more that you feed it, the better it gets. Right now, sadly, because I have so many videos out on YouTube, which is probably probably part of what YouTube was meant to be. Probably what everything, what all of it was meant to accomplish was to take our voice patterns, take our take what we think, what we enjoy, what we love, um, moving pictures of us, but to take all of this stuff, you talk about Facebook, how Facebook was taking profiles of you. I mean, you have given Facebook your every deepest darkest secret. I mean, it wasn't just MySpace. You know, MySpace got to a point to where they weren't taking like every little detail, but they were taking enough from you that they kind of knew what you were doing. But Facebook has taken every little intimate detail. And yes, you've given Facebook every little intimate detail. Believe me, you have shown Facebook what you want, what you look like. You have fallen into the 10-year trap where you showed them what you were like 10 years ago and what you are now. You've given them all of your family memories. You have given them all of your family names. You have given them your likes. You have given them your dislikes. You have shown them what kind of food you eat. That's not a joke. You people are posting pictures of your food. You've shown them what kind of jokes you like. You've shown them what kind of jokes you don't like. You've given them all this information. And then what's worse is you've gone to Instagram and given them daily pictures. Now, some people don't do this. Some people are like, I've never touched Instagram, Facebook. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You're actually one of the few. Thankfully, my grandmother has never touched a computer in her life, so she has never had to worry about any of this stuff. But other people have, and you have given them every little piece of information whatsoever. So much so to the point that we are now at YouTube, where it's just like me. I'm sitting here talking, and they have how many videos am I up to now? Hundreds? I don't even know. I've been doing this for 6 years. I have to have at least 1,000 videos up, at least. I know I have 117. I know that much, but but I have all of this information where they could easily, very easily take every single word I've ever said, put it into a program, and then they have my voice. They could deep fake my voice. And that's a little fucked up. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. That's a little fucked up. But that's where we are, is we cannot tell what is real and what isn't real. Uh, have I ever mentioned how anytime anybody ever says whenever something is and isn't real, and every single time they say it, the first thing I think every single time is Israel, because it is real. That's the truth. Israel, not the country, not the country that we know right now, but Jacob, the the man that God chose to spread his seed all over the earth. Israel. Because it is real. You hear it? Every time somebody says it, that's the first thing I think. Because the Bible is real. God is real. Do you hear it? I think that was put there on purpose. We talk about the English language and how it is used to corrupt. But we also talk about names. Names mean something. Names mean things. But especially recently, when people are wondering what is and is not real. You start coming to that conclusion. Israel. Because you say it all the time. You say it constantly. I just find that to be one of those quirks of language that not many people stop and say, "Hey, wait a minute." You know, it's one of those things. It's just like maybe there's something there that we should be looking at. Maybe we should maybe we should stop and really think about what we're saying now because there's something going on there. But every time somebody says it, but now in this fake world, this fake existence, it's becoming more and more clear. That's what we should be focusing on. What is and isn't real? What is real? What is real? See? Just food for thought for you. Just so something that I have been it's been on the back of my mind and it's something I haven't really talked about because when you really think about it, it sounds weird to say it. It's like a thought experiment that sounds okay in your head, but when you say it, it just kind of sounds kind of weird. But I think I put it in the right kind of context for you to understand. But we live in this world now where we don't know what is and isn't even remotely real. Everything could be fake. And it goes back to that quote. I cannot ever remember who said it, but it was when everything that the American people see or read is not based in truth, then we will know that our propaganda system is one or something like that. And I mean, we're at that point. We're at that point. You can't trust anything. You can't trust anything. There's everything you see on TV, hear on the any media outlet, see on the news, see on the internet. You don't know what's going on anymore. You may think you do, but there's just there's so much information all at once, and it's it's hard to discern what is and isn't there. What isn't real. Especially when you can now officially deepfake a voice. You can deepfake uh, any video. When 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 the president of the United States comes to you from a from a stage studio, when he can't actually sit at the Oval Office at the desk for real. He has to sit in front of a screen with with fake images behind him. That's when you know. That's when you know that there's something going on here. That's when you know that you have a problem. Is when they can't just do it. Ever since the invention of television, they put a camera inside of the Oval Office and they filmed the President of the United States of America. Ever since they had the ability to put it on television, they put a camera right in the middle of the Oval Office, filmed the President of the United States give statements because it was real, because you knew it was real. Now he sits on a soundstage with TV screens behind him. What the hell is going on? Just the whole it's such a show. It's such a show. And we have seen so many different different fake shots, blue screen shots, um, videos, graphical glitches, everything. We have seen so many of these over the past however many years, especially when it comes to the news, what's on television, what you see. You just don't know what's real anymore. Uh, Especially the blue screen. There's so many blue screen, and you could. It's like it was a progression. You could see the progression of how they use these things throughout the years, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And now we're to the point to where green screen is so good that you can barely tell it apart. There's still movies that I watch that I see that I'm like, yeah, that's green screen. But yeah, I mean, when you see something practical, it's like, damn, that's practical. They made that. That's awesome. But there's other places where it's like, it's hard to tell if this is real or not. They're getting really, really good, and it's all used to manipulate you. It's all used to manipulate you and control you because that's what they want. They want to be able to control you. The less you know that is true, the more they can control you. I don't know how else to say it other than that. And people just want to keep going along with it. And they want to call you a liar. And they want to call you stupid. And they want to call you an idiot. And all you're trying to do is just wake people up. Trying to tell them to look. Just look. Open your eyes to it. They are manipulating you and controlling you. They have manipulated and controlled you so much. And I watch wrestling. I watch professional wrestling. I do. I have not watched the new stuff in a while because it's all just garbage. I watch the old stuff. And one of the things you learn, one of the things you learn uh, is that it's not real. So I'm not going to say it's fake. It's kayfabe or anything else, which means that the outcomes are. Sorry if I'm spoiling this for anyone. I don't think I am. The outcomes are fixed. The things that they do are fixed. The drama is not real. It's manipulated from a grand hand from the back. Uh, but they know how to do their job so well. They know how to manipulate you so well. They will get you to turn on somebody you love, absolutely love. Somebody that you have. Well, first of all, they will get you to love somebody. Whether you like it or not, they will find a way. They will drive. It's the same way that radios get you to like a song on the radio, like a pop song. You may absolutely hate a song that you hear on the radio, but whenever they constantly feed it to you over and over again, every hour on the hour, by the end of a week, you will be singing that song in the shower. I guarantee it. This is how they do it. It's constant repetition. It's constantly getting it through to you. But when it comes to wrestling, comes to professional wrestling, they know the right things for somebody to say, for somebody to do, to be able to get you to like them. Now, somebody can stop and say, well, what about John Cena? What about Roman Reigns? What about all these other guys? You were liking them. They got you to like them whenever they did certain things. Just because it got so old to the point of you not liking them doesn't mean anything. They got you to like them at the beginning. Somehow, some way, they found some way to make them appealing to you. Every professional wrestler they made appealing to you, no matter how stupid or bad it was. If they wanted to get them over for you, they got them over for you. But they can take any person that you know and love that you've been following for years upon years. Oh, this is the best guy in the world. It could have been couple months. Oh, I love this guy. He's great. You should see what he can do. He does this, does that. The things he says, even the worst person in the ring can still be the best person on the mic, and they can still get him over. And that's the truth. There's people that don't agree with that, but I don't care. But they take these guys that you could love, and within one show, within one segment, within 30 seconds, they could flip them. And you will turn. You will go through all, 5 stages of what is it? Pain, whatever it's called. The 5 stages of loss, losing, whatever the hell it is. Where you won't accept it at first, where you'll be angry at it, then you'll be sad, then you'll have depression, and you eventually have to accept it. But they will find a way to turn that person just by doing one thing, and it's fake. It's not real. It is a made-up story, and they manage to heel turn to give your favorite wrestler that you loved, give him that heel turn and push him into being a heel. They could do it the other way too. They could take the worst heel in the world and have him do one thing and make him a face, make him a baby face, make him a good guy. Just that one little thing, and you'll start loving him. And then a year down the line, you'll look back and think, man, didn't we just hate this guy? But the thing is that wrestling fans, except for the smart marks, and I'm talking about the true smart marks. I'm not talking about the smart mark being somebody that's privy to how the business works, that knows how the puppet masters pull the strings. I'm not just talking about the smart marks. But the average wrestling fan has such a short memory that they will not realize that this person that they either completely loved a month ago or they absolutely despised, they hated so, especially if you go back and you watch the old wrestling from like the 70s and the 80s when people still thought it was real. And man, these people were hot. These people were throwing stuff at heel wrestlers. They were jumping the fences, all trying to get at these guys. But these people, these wrestling fans, which is the general population, within one show, within 30 seconds, can have their ideals flipped. And because they have such a short memory, they will forget everything that has ever happened before with this wrestler. And they will love him or hate him because that's what the boys in the back want. That's what the producers of the show want. That's what the bookers want. If they want you to love somebody, they're going to get you to love somebody, even if you hated them 2 seconds ago, because they know that you'll fall for it. People fall for it all the time. And there are only so many guys. Even the smart marks, man. Some of those will fall for it too. It's just it's the manipulation. These people have been doing it for years. They've been doing this kind of manipulation to you for years. They know how to work your buttons. They know how to get you on the side of the worst person in the world. They know how to make you hate the best person in the world. At any point in time, if they don't want you to like Superman, by God, they will turn Superman and you will hate him for the rest of your life. And that's the manipulation of the world. That's the kind of stuff that I talk about over and over again. What happened here? Is my computer off? What the hell? That's weird. I might have shut it down last night. Oops. Trying to log into my computer now, my work computer, and I guess I turned it off last night. Oh, okay. It's definitely one of the things that I've tried to get through on these videos to anyone that's listening is that you are being manipulated. You are definitely being lied to constantly now. You're being lied to so much so that you couldn't even discern the truth even if you tried. Because there are too many places where you are getting conflicting reports and they have made everything digital. And the worst part about making everything digital is the fact that they control it. You can't just get it in a newspaper. You don't get to go out and get a newspaper and you can have it in print and it'll be there tomorrow. Where if they change the narrative on you, you can go back to a newspaper, from 2 days ago and you're like, look, it's different. It's different than what they said 2 days ago, which has happened before. And people called it out and, people were able to get it. But now it's like if something doesn't fit the narrative, they just delete it. They either delete it or they go back and they change it, which is the worst thing that has happened to the news ever, is to see that something has been edited. Unless you are one of those that takes, unless you're one of those conspiracy guys that goes out and will take screenshots of everything, will try to record every little bit of information on the internet that they can, they will change it on you. And 9 times out of 10, especially with me, because I don't use the internet that much at all anymore, a little bit during the morning and maybe a little bit during the day, but definitely not as much as I used to. I don't get my information until it's already been out. And by the time that I see somebody post something and I go to look for it, it's gone. It's either gone or it's already been changed to what somebody said it was. Of course, crap. Of course, there's also those people out there that are just constantly putting the most insanely stupid things out there possible, trying to confuse people. I think I entered in my password. Well, that's 2 if I do it one more time. I accidentally hit the button and entered a blank password. The second time I screwed up the password. And if you do it 3 times, you get locked out of your computer. That's all I need. But there are people out there that are purposely trying to manipulate what you see, and then just putting out false information. And I think a lot of that stuff is the opposition. The people in charge putting that stuff out so that when people start sharing everything, which is something I'm constantly doing, is going around every time I'm seeing something and I'm just like, look, maybe you shouldn't be sharing this because wouldn't they just love to be able to use this against us? But people still share the worst stupid garbage possible. But it's like, the people at the top want us to share false information so that they can stop and point at it and say, look at these people sharing this information. These people don't know what they're talking about. It's what they want. They want us to they want us to dig our own graves. And some people are more than willing to do it. Some people have already dug themselves into a grave so much now that they can't get out, and you're just like, you should have known better. You absolutely should have known better, but you didn't know any better. And you gotta be intelligent. You gotta be smart. You gotta know when you're being manipulated, when you're not being manipulated. And one of the things to kind of wrap this up, to bring it full circle, one of the things to know if you're being manipulated or not is like I was saying with the numbers. These people run on numbers. They use dates. They use calculations. They use gematria, which is the numerology of words, because each letter has a numerical value. They use all this stuff. They use it against you. They use it to talk to each other, and they use it against you because they pick the dates. They pick their dates based upon whatever it is they use, and they use it against you in order to hurt you. So, with all that being said, you gotta be careful, man. You've got to be careful. This is definitely not a game anymore. This is definitely not, it's not something to just scoff at anymore. It's not something to just let slide. You have to understand that there are people that have been, that are, but have been and continue to be against you, and against your life, and against everything you know and love. And they are more than willing to hurt you, manipulate you, and destroy you in order to get what they want. And you may not believe it, and that's just fine. You don't have to believe it if you don't want to, but I'm going to tell you what, man. They're coming for you. What do you mean verification failure? What? Oh, that's great. My VPN isn't logging me in. What the hell's going on here? I already said the new system that they have for us. Yes, that's me. The new system they have for us has me having to go through my phone. There we go. Why did it not connect the first time? What the? It has me connecting through my phone, and it just failed. That's awesome. But then it connected the second time. Just this. While you're being manipulated, while you're being manipulated about worrying about the world, worrying about wars and rumors of wars, while you're being manipulated about all this other kind of stuff, slowly but surely in the background, they are still creating this digital ID, this digital passport system that you are still, and I'm not talking to the people that know. The people that know, you're not going to fall for it. But that, oh God, did I just, what the hell? I hate logging in and there's like 6 emails. I'm sorry, but that people are still falling for that, but it's still there. It's still and now they're putting out news articles about, oh, it's still coming. Mandatory what? I already did. Oh, this is the other one. Oh, God. I hate this. All right. I gotta get going because apparently I have to go do. I feel bad now because I kept thinking that, yeah, this is the other learning nonsense. I thought I was. We now officially have two training courses at work. We have our main training courses, which have been there from the start, which are the ones that I don't know why they have training courses for me to have customer service, and I don't deal with customers. But then they have this new one that is outside of our training. What is this? That you have to you have to log in a specific way. Oh, it looks like our main website's now too. What is going on here, man? Just the whole thing just stupid. This is all just stupid. This whole world is just completely and I've said it before, we've let ourselves be manipulated by computers for way too long. So much so to the point that they rule our lives completely now. And everybody, there was somebody that was saying, would you be able to survive? Do you know how close it is, and would you be able to survive a cyber attack upon the world? And I'm just like, well, we wouldn't be in this problem if we didn't give every single little thing over to a computer to be able to do for us. We don't need to have this much dependence upon technology. We don't need it. But people have allowed this to happen, and they've made it to the point to where we can use all this stuff to get us through the day, so much so to the point that they just said, look, let's just send everybody home. Let's just send everybody home and we can manipulate them from home. And so you get things like this where I have two friggin' training courses and I chose the wrong one. I did training courses, I did the wrong one, and now I'm getting an email from my supervisor. I feel bad. I feel bad because of this, but it is what it is. All right. It's just dumb. It's stupid. It's so freaking stupid. This whole thing. I've already said I don't want to be here anymore. I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to. I've lived long enough that I am. Oh, I've lived long enough that I'm just over what I'm doing in my life. I'm, I'm ready to come home, Father. Please. I'm ready to come home. I don't want this world anymore. And now my password is expired. That's awesome. I think my password expired. It was like a month ago, man. Our password's now expiring within a month. Are you kidding me? All right, I gotta go. You guys take care of yourselves. God bless you all. Um, I will see you all later. They're gonna keep pushing. They're gonna keep pushing. They're gonna keep pushing. They're gonna keep pushing. You have to push back. If you do not push back, they're gonna steamroll right over you. I don't know what else to say. I love you all. God bless. Take care of yourselves, man.